Welcome to our Ayurvedic talk. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the face. We've spent some time on the face a few weeks back, and we're not going to talk too much, but I want you to know that the way that the elements move through the body, they will show up on your face. So this is why when you come in for an Ayurvedic consultation, we do a full assessment. Physically, mentally, emotionally. We take your pulses, we look at the tongue. And then if you look at last week's talk, we talked about the tongue and about how the tip of the tongue is basically the head. And as it moves back, it moves down all the way through the torso. It's really interesting information. But the tip of the head relates to vata, ether, air. The middle of the tongue relates to pitta, fire element. And the back, reverse. The tip of the tongue is kapha. So that's earth and water. And then it's pitta, and then it's vata in the back, ether, air. Apologize. All right, but we are not talking about the tongue today. We are actually talking about how do the elements move through my body and give me the expressions that I walk around through the world with. And if you look at most people, there is a resting expression that will end up being on people's faces. There are those people that always walk around looking worried. There are those people that walk around looking pissed off. There are those people that walk around looking lethargic and tired. Okay, so those are the elements showing up in your face. And we in the West tend to think of things as linear, and there's no such thing. There's no such thing. You're dynamic. You're so much more than that. The elements are moving through your body. We're being influenced by them on the outside. And right now with wintertime, fall, winter, the elements in the atmosphere are ether and air. So that's going to start impacting us, making us feel a little more frantic, a little more rushed, a little more scattered. Those are the emotions that might start rising up. You might have a little more fear going on in your thinking. You might have more worry going on. Those are the types of thoughts that are related to vata, ether, air. So how does it show up in your face, though? So when we look at the face, if you start, there's different places where people will have lines. If you have lines that move across the forehead, that is going to relate more to vata. It's going to be more about worrying. And it ends up just causing wrinkles here. So when you come in and you get your Ayurvedic consultation, I'm looking at your face. I'm looking to see where is your face being impacted by the elements. If you come in and you have lines here between the eyes, right here below the third eye, that's what they call the liver line and spleen line. So the liver line is actually on this side and the spleen line is on this side. Well, your liver's on the right-hand side. So that means that liver line is here. The spleen is on the left-hand side, and that means the spleen line is here. And then you have rings under your eyes. That relates to the kidneys. Now, the kidneys oftentimes are connected to fear. And you have just like the whole facial analysis. If you're looking at someone's face and their face looks heavy, that's going to be more of the kapha showing up. So I want to just say, if you have excess vata in your face, you're going to have more asymmetries. In other words, you might have one eye that is more lifted than the other eye, and it's noticeable. Or you might have a nose that you were born with that's crooked. Or you might have a crooked smile. right? That's vata showing up in your face. People who have more pitta in their face are usually more symmetrical. And they have strong lines, strong jawline, more square face. Their eyes are more piercing. Usually with vata, the eyes are usually smaller. And the other thing that happens with the people's eyes, like that shows up in their expression, their eyes kind of move around a lot. That's how you know they've got a lot of vata going on in their body. A lot of ether and air. They're scattered and their eyes can't stay fixed. Whereas people who are pitta, their eyes fix. And oftentimes they don't shift. They go laser beam focused. Kapha, they're going to have bigger, rounder, softer eyes, also bigger, rounder face. Usually there's more flesh. And somebody who's pitta is going to have more redness. And vata ends up being a little more pasty looking, dull, kind of pasty. Poor vata. That's why I always say, be kind to your vata friends, because they were born that way. Oftentimes they were born that way. You can have a vata imbalance. And if you do just have a vata imbalance, you got to make changes in your diet and your lifestyle so that you can calm that vata down. And if you were born a vata, you got to work really hard and manage calming that vata down so that you do not walk around with this resting expression on your face of worry, of fear. And that is how vata will walk around, just completely distressed. Pitta walks around angry. They can't help it. They've always got this like look of determination and kind of watch out, get out of the way. And the people who are a little more kapha, well, they move slower. They don't usually have as like they're just softer in their expression. All right. So that was just a super interesting little way of looking at your face and why our wrinkles are really telling us a story. You can always tell people who smile more and people who don't. I decided that my way of dealing with aging is to smile, because if you smile, it lifts your face. When you don't smile, then it really shows your wrinkles and it really shows your stress. So just kind of committing to, okay, I'm going to go through this day. I'm going to make the best of it. And I'm going to put an expression on my face. And I'm not saying put a mask on. Absolutely not. I am not a mask wearer. Not very good at it at all. I wear my whole life on my sleeve. But you can make a decision of how you want to go through your day, for sure. And I always want to go through my day feeling more uplifted. And so I will always choose more to have a smile or try to make light of things and have humor. Have humor. It's worth it. Come on, you pitta people. Have some humor. Bring some play into your life. All right. So that is our talk for tonight. Hopefully it was helpful and interesting. And we are going to move on to our practice. We're starting our practice tonight with circular breath. It is a really, really important breath. It's called emotional breathing. When you do this breath and you notice there are maybe hesitations in it. So it is a way to kind of start to address that underlying expression that's carrying us through the day. And we could start using the technique of circular breath, start calming everything down. Calm down that vata, calm down that pitta, and help lift up the kapha, because kapha, they suffer more from lethargy. They need stimulation. So let's go on and get into our practice and do that.